They're 40-year-olds. They're not young royals.
Well, and
they're different now. The vibe is different. The whole mood and shift will now.
The fall of Prince Harry has been shocking. From living a rich royal life to being very low and needing money. And now, what many people say is the worst part so far. Harry has gone to one of his old close friends, David Beckham, and asked for something so crazy that it shocked people in Hollywood. A $50 million loan. Yes, the same Harry who once said he didn't need money from the royal family. The same Harry who, with Meghan Markle, said he would make his own business, is now being seen as someone who needs money so badly that he is almost begging his famous friends to help him survive. But the worst part is that Beckham, who used to support Harry and Meghan, didn't just say no, he completely refused to help. And that no has become the newest embarrassing moment.
Go on to George, Charlotte and Louis, and they will become really, frankly, bit part players. Now, they won't like that. And that's probably what this is all about, making sure they've got a presence.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video. And subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. In what feels like a never-ending list of public embarrassments for Prince Harry, the problems with Harry's money have been getting worse for months. Behind the fancy look of Montecito mansions and private planes, news reports have shown a very different story. Less money coming in, failed media deals, and quiet talk about possible bankruptcy. Spotify canceled their $20 million podcast deal, and Netflix has reportedly lost interest in the couple's shows. Sources say the shows are not doing well. And with Meghan's expensive lifestyle and Harry not wanting to spend less, the couple's business is falling apart from its own problems. So when people started talking about Harry going bankrupt, those who know them weren't surprised at all.
It's a brand to monetize because pretty soon they're going to be really so far removed from the main game that they're not going to be able to get as much money out of being royals.
I think Valentine Lowe wrote that in his book, didn't he? Or I seem to remember.
What did surprise them was how desperate Harry's next step was. Instead of trying easier ways to fix things, like getting better loans, spending less money, or asking smaller investors to help, Harry went all in. He went to Beckham, a man who is very rich and very powerful, and asked for something shakuna $50 million personal loan. Even Harry's closest friends were surprised by how big the request was. To explain it clearly, $50 million isn't just for help or backup. It's the kind of money that completely changes someone's lifestyle. It's more like a rescue plan. For Harry to ask Beckham for that huge amount of money shows just how serious and bad his situation really is.
Al writing about saying that Harry did have fears that he might, become irrelevant into his 50s. And, they're making a huge noise at the moment.
Yeah.
But he undoubtedly will. He'll be a bald 50-year-old prince that, a gentleman, someone formerly known as.
But Beckham didn't go along with it. People who know the situation say the famous football player didn't just say no politely. He completely refused. For Harry, being turned down was very painful. Beckham isn't just any famous person. He used to be a close friend, a stylish connection between the royal family and worldwide fame. So Beckham saying no isn't just about money. It also sends a strong message. It shows the world that even Harry's oldest and most famous friends don't see him as someone they want to support with their money or their name.
Some journalists in America who were saying how we love a kind of boy or girl done good. And the fact that for Harry and Meghan, for a very long time, a lot of the stories have been negative and around.
Of course, this wasn't just a one-time thing. The friendship between the Sussexes and the Beckhams has been very weak for a long time. The big problem started when Meghan was said to have blamed Victoria Beckham for telling the press private things. People close to them say that this rumor made the Beckhams very angry and made the once friendly relationship feel cold. So when Harry came to ask for help in a humble way, the Beckhams said no, not just because of money. It was because there had been many years of not trusting each other, feeling upset, and being let down. The Beckhams saying no wasn't just a quick and simple answer. It was the final thing that ended their friendship for good. And now, maybe the worst part of it all is how people see it. The way people now think about Prince Harry.
Prince, that's what he will be. And that will be not the same as they talk about, he's got an appeal with the younger generation. Well, they'll be thinking, who is this guy? They won't even know who he is.
I think it's also trying to kind of make things a bit more positive.
Once he was a soldier, a royal, and a world-famous symbol of rebellion and doing things his own way. Now, he's asking his famous friends for money, which is very sad. People don't see a man trying to protect his family. They see a prince who is begging, trying hard to stay important and have enough money in a world where his image is falling apart. News stories are comparing him to rich people who lost everything. Jokes online are calling him Harry the Borrower. And people are saying he is the most expensive problem in Hollywood. These things have taken over the internet. The embarrassment is total because when you lose your money, you lose your power. But when you also lose your self-respect, you lose everything. If Harry thought David Beckham saying no would stay a secret, he was very wrong.
And certainly with Meghan, look, with the twerking video and her really kind of owning her social media, I think you're seeing that kind of, right, I'm going to be more upbeat, I'm going to be positive. And we're sort of waiting for more of that, I think, from Harry.
But then, of course, they're already ahead of.
In Hollywood, nothing stays secret for long. And this moment of rejection didn't just quietly come out. It spread super fast, moving through famous people's friend groups, business meetings, and social media pages, until it became the main story about Harry's money problems. In Los Angeles, your reputation is like money, and the quiet gossip network is very harsh. Once people heard that Harry asked Beckham for a $50 million loan and got turned down, it wasn't just a rumor anymore. It turned into a warning story. Movie makers, investors, and rich people who help celebrities with money started talking about how Harry might not be stable. If Beckham, who is known around the world as a trusted and smart celebrity, wouldn't help Harry, then why would anyone else? Suddenly, Harry and Meghan didn't look like powerful stars anymore.
Those two will be, and they've got all their branding around that, they will be something that they will be able to monetize. And unfortunately about the Sussexes, I just call them H&M, because I don't believe they should have the title, is all about the money. And of course, the reason we want...
They were seen as problems, bad investments, a couple whose name no longer promised profit, but instead brought the chance of shame. The quiet talk quickly turned into serious questions. How could a man born with so much wealth and who made huge deals with Netflix and Spotify now be close to running out of money? People who didn't support them didn't need to look hard for reasons. The big house in Montecito, the trips on private jets, the many public relations teams, and legal costs. Instead of creating a smart and lasting business, Harry and Meghan looked like they were spending money carelessly. Even people who liked them started to wonder if their talk about wanting financial freedom was just a cover-up for bad choices with money. It wasn't about bad luck anymore. It was about making bad decisions.
The game on this, the Sussexes, because they've done their branding for their two children. Mm-hmm. She's writing a diary entry every night to Archie and Lilibet. I wonder what that's for, the diary of Archie and Lilibet. I don't know, it's a nice book. But they know that...
For Meghan Markle, the situation looks very bad. Her whole Hollywood plan was about showing she has influence, style, and control. She wants people to see her as a trendsetter, a leader in culture, a woman with power. But the story about the Beckham loan ruins that image completely. What is glamorous about asking for $50 million? What is powerful about being clearly refused by an old friend? The story Meghan worked hard to build fell apart in a moment. Instead of being seen as a strong Hollywood couple, she and Harry are now often made fun of as famous people who don't know how to handle their own money. And here is the part that must hurt Harry the most. The quiet approval from the palace. When Harry and Meghan left royal life, they promised to become financially independent, free from the royal family's control. They said the royal family was strict, old-fashioned, and cared too much about rank. But now, with talks about bankruptcy and a desperate request to Beckham...
There's a lot of this, and let's not be too cynical. Yes, he wants a reconciliation with his father. His father has a finite time on this earth. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of money to be distributed. And I'm sure that's a conversation that needs to be had.
So we asked, ultimately, should the king remove the Sussexes titles from Harry and Meghan? And 91...
And Hollywood gossip is showing him as a problem. Harry has proved the people who didn't support him were right. The royal family didn't have to do anything. Harry's own actions showed they were correct. He left to get away from the royal family's money system. But a few years later, he is asking his friends for help with money. Behind closed doors, you can imagine how happy the royal family is. The boy who wanted freedom now sees that freedom costs a lot and is very hard. This is not just a one-time shame. This is a kind of scandal that lasts a long time. When people look at Harry now, they don't see a soldier or someone who helps others. They don't even see a prince who rebels. They see a man who has lost his respect, trying hard to keep going, but being turned down by one of the most respected men in entertainment and sports. The begging prince, the fallen duke. A warning story and in Hollywood.
Percent said absolutely.
I agree with
Wow,
that. Yeah.
that's
You agree with that,
I
Rob?
agree with it. Yeah.
Do you?
I think because I think they've disobeyed the HRH and they've flaunted that. They're now talking about, oh, I'm Meghan Sussex. Well, you're slightly, taking the mickey out of the royal family. You're not. You want it out. You wanted to.
People's opinion is everything. Once your name means you are desperate and failing. Doors don't just close, they lock. The story about the Beckham loan might be the moment when the Sussex name stopped being interesting and just became unimportant. And here is the part Prince Harry really does not want to hear. Because even though David Beckham saying no was embarrassing enough, the way the public reacted has been even worse. Social media is full of jokes about him. Memes call him the begging prince and Harry the borrower. On Twitter, one popular post said it clearly. Imagine leaving the royal family to be independent, only to go broke and ask Beckham for $50 million. On TikTok, videos of Harry talking about financial freedom are shown together with the news of Beckham saying no. The captions point out the irony, like, freedom costs more than you thought. Haha. Even fans who once felt sorry for him are now doubting his choices. Netflix viewers write comments on Meghan's shows saying, maybe if the show wasn't so boring, you wouldn't need money help. The opinion is clear. People aren't just upset, they're laughing. And when people laugh at you, it hurts more than hate. But now, I want to know what you think. Do you believe Harry asking for $50 million shows how bad his money problems really are? Was Beckham right to say no to him? And do you think this is the start of the Sussex name ending in Hollywood? Write your thoughts in the comments. Don't hold back. I will share the best answers in my next video. And if you want to know every new update in this story, from Meghan's Netflix failure to Harry's desperate money moves, make sure you subscribe, click the bell, and like this video so more people can see it. Because here's the truth. Prince Harry didn't just lose money, he lost respect, his good name, and the last bit of trust that kept his Hollywood career going. And once you become the joke of your own failure, there is no coming